All right, Eddie in Rockland. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, Mike.
What's happening?
Another NFC championship for the Rams, 10th time since 1970.
Okay.
You know, I didn't think they'd,
1970 is a long
Dallas.
time, though, Eddie. It's a long time. 1970 is a long time.
I'm sorry. No, but it's there's only two other teams that have been to more. There's Dallas and San Francisco in the NFC. So we're making our mark.
Well, the Rams have not been a major team, though. They haven't won a lot of championships.
They're getting there. They're putting their history together. Yeah. But as far as the game, it was nice to see the coach be able to put the other running back in, run Goff, change some things around. Like I said, on the defense, I'm not a big fan of rushing the linebackers. I wish they really get a fourth lineman in there like they did on that 4th and 1 Zeke play where Sue got him. That was a big play. About the Saints, like you said, it's kind of like a home field advantage thing. But it's going to be good. These games are going to be real good with the way the coaching is. The coaching.
Well, I see one real weakness for the Rams that scares me. Joe in Port Washington. What's up, Joe?
Hey, thanks for taking the call, Mike.
Yeah.
I think the matchups are awesome because you actually got the two future Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers that are basically still playing going against the two kids. But you touched on base before. Which I think is going to be used in the Kansas City game, the specialty teams. I mean, this is where Belichick has his team ready because the guy Hill is the catalyst. I mean, punt returns, kick returns. I mean, every time the ball's in the air.
The return is not the problem. The problem is the rest. The problem is how do you line up against them? If they line them up and they use them as a decoy, which they do on those sweeps, where they'll give him the ball once on the sweep. Now you have to basically send 3 defenders to that side of the field because if you don't have somebody waiting for him on the sideline, he's going to go down the sideline for a touchdown. Now, the next time, they don't give him the ball. So now you've moved half your defense across the field here as he comes in motion. That way, if you don't give him the ball now you got half your defense trending in that, making basically a beeline to get there and be able to handle him, and now he doesn't have the ball. So now you've put everybody else overloaded on the other side of the field in a lot of trouble. That is what he presents as a decoy. He presents such an enormous weapon when he doesn't get the ball because you have to be ready for the times he does get the ball. Because if you don't and you're slow getting there, one time he scores. And off the line of scrimmage, if you are going to come up and try to hit him at the line of scrimmage, which is pretty much a Belichick specialty, you better do it and take him down. Because if you don't and you miss that hit at the line of scrimmage, you miss that bump, he's gone. He's absolutely going right up the slot or he's going right up the field. He's going right past everybody and he's going to score. He is scary. I mean, and Kelsey, you can't zone him. And the Colts, we talked about this. How would the Colts deal with this? See, I didn't have a problem with the Colt defense that much. The problem was the Colt offensive line didn't come to play. That was really the problem. They didn't come to play. And they had been a huge weapon. And we'd given them a tremendous amount of credit, which they had earned. But they were not only a non-factor, they were a negative in the game on Saturday. The Chiefs pushed them around and pushed them back into Luck's lap about 10 times. Bill in Philly, what's up, Bill?
Hey, Mike, how are you? I just thought that I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but I just also wanted to talk about, you follow these games. I'm sure you saw the Eagles game from start to finish yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
Any opinion on the clock management? Again, what happened with Alshon Jeffrey yesterday totally took Doug Peterson off the hook. But the clock management, I don't understand at the end of a first half and at the end of a game. Okay, you got 2 minutes to go in the game. Why are they in a hurry-up offense at New Orleans' 30-yard line? Because if Jeffries catches that ball and they score, they're going to go right back down the field. As an Eagle fan, I still know that they weren't going to stop.
They're in hurry-up offense because
they needed to run that clock out.
No, you see, they're in hurry-up offense for a bigger reason. It keeps them from switching personnel. It keeps the same defenders on the field.
I understand that.
And that's if you understand it, then you know why. Wait, listen, you cannot manage that game at that point to where you're saying, I have to make sure I score and don't use any time. You can't manage the game that succinctly. It cannot be done unless
Not
you
from the other team's 30-yard line?
It can't be done unless you're completely controlling the line of scrimmage. You cannot do it unless you're beating them with the running game only. And they weren't. They were beating them with the passing game. So you have to go down and score as fast as you can and just score as easily as you can. And then you worry about what's left on the clock. All you're trying to do there.
Would not have stopped them.
It doesn't matter. Score first, then worry about it.
Now, how about at the end of the first half? When, at the end of the half, my first thing is, make sure the other team doesn't score.
Listen, you cannot manage the game where you're trying to say, I want to get to each half 0-0 on the clock. Okay, come on now. You're asking too much. You're asking miracles. Now you're only asking your offense to score, but you're asking them to score on a certain play. It's too much to ask. At that point, all you're trying to do is get down there. Now, if he can get down there close and he gets a break where he gets the ball inside the 10 and there's a bunch of time left, then he can run a ball and make the Saints use their timeouts. He can do that. And if they don't use their timeouts, they're going to take too much time off the clock. So they're going to use their timeouts. You can make them waste their timeouts. That's what you're going to get out of it. But you can't. You're not at a position there where you can make that your prime concern. I'm going to tell you right now, if that ball hadn't gone through his hands, the Eagles were going to score a touchdown. Just like I'm telling you, if they had kicked the field goal, you had a better chance of a pick six on top of that to go to 30-14 than you did for the Eagles to score a meaningless touchdown. Eagles would not have scored a meaningless touchdown. They would have been dead. The 9 would have killed them. The fact they would have been down 2 scores would have crushed them because they were just about done emotionally anyway. But they got a big lift off the missed field goal. Keith in Morristown. What's up, Keith?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good.
I got a question about the Giants. This kid Murray from Oklahoma has just declared for the NFL draft.
It's too small.
How do you feel about the?
It's too small. I know Kingsbury loves him. Let him love him. Let him make the mistake. He's too small.
You wouldn't trade the number 6 pick for Rosen?
No, I would not. I would not.
We would get a top 3 quarterback from last year plus Saquon.
I think he's a college quarterback. I think he's too small. He's got a good arm. He's fast. To me,
no, I'm saying the Giants trade their number 6 pick to Arizona. Arizona
Rosen.
picks the for Rosen.
Yes. Oh, you don't want Murray. You want Rosen.
I want Rosen.
Listen, if the Giants have I don't love Rosen. If the Giants like Rosen and have a commitment for him, I'm okay. I don't want to trade for Murray. I don't think Murray's going to be great in the pros. I think he's too small. Billy in Bay Ridge. What's up, Billy?
Hello, Mike. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
I know you're not going to agree. Just hear me out for about 20 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck looked like a scared rabbit out there. How many balls did he force down the field farther than 10 or 15 yards all game? Sometimes the quarterback's got to force it down there. He was short-arming the ball, 5-yard passes. He couldn't even reach the receivers on 5-yard flats. He's a bigger choke until further notice. How many balls did they throw downfield?
Billy, you can have your opinion. Billy, every general manager in the world would crawl over hot coals to get him. When you get your pass rush kicked back in your face, it's a long day. I've seen every one of those. I've seen Tom Brady look like that. I've seen every great. I've seen Peyton Manning look like that. I've seen every quarterback look like that. And the bottom line was, before the half, he made a throw that should have been a touchdown. They dropped it. Before he got stripped by Houston, he threw the ball down to the 5-yard line. T.Y. Hilton dropped it. They dropped everything he threw. They dropped, and he did get the ball knocked down a ton of times, and he threw some balls short because he was getting absolutely pressured to the moon. All true. He did not have a good game for Luck. For Luck, he had a terrible game. I understand that. But if you're going to make a judgment about his career off that game, you'd be a bigger fool. I mean, you'd be the biggest fool in the world. Because every quarterback, I've seen Joe Montana have days like that. I've seen every great quarterback have days like that. Everyone. If you get pressured like that, when you got 6, 7 guys who are in your lap, you can't get the ball off. And if you're being fair, they had drop after drop after drop when he did deliver the ball. But if you think Luck was scared, you're out of your mind. He couldn't get the ball off. I mean, he was under pressure the whole day. That's the point. That's what I try to tell people about any quarterback. When you are losing at the line of scrimmage, every quarterback's going to look bad. Every single one. Because they can't get the ball off. Dominic in Staten Island. What's up, Dominic?
Hi, Michael.
What's happening?
Okay, I can scratch you off my bucket list now. I'm glad I got to talk to you.
Oh, good. What's happening?
Okay, the pending game between the Chiefs and New England being played in Kansas City this weekend.
Right.
That would have all been changed if New England didn't lose that crazy game to the Dolphins with that kickoff return for 100 yards, because New England would have had a better record.
But what does that mean?
And they beat the
don't.
Chiefs this year.
But they don't have a better record.
But they would have if that game...
But if what does if mean in the what does if
I know
mean?
if in sports goes
right.
a long way.
And they didn't
and
they didn't have the ability to get to number one unless the Chiefs lost in the last 2 weeks. So we knew that. It wasn't like it was a surprise. So I mean they all lose weird games during the season. The Chiefs lost games on the last second to the Chargers, to a couple of different teams. So I mean they all have games like that.
But that kickoff, Michael, was one for the history books.
It was. Well, listen,
right?
the team that wins all the time is allowed to have a bad loss.
Yeah, they certainly did. It cost them home field.
Well, listen, they're allowed to win on the road.
What is your opinion?
Well, it's only Monday, so it's a little early for that. We got a whole week before we get into analyzing the games. Let's get through last week's games first. Rob in Carmel. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Mike. How are you? Long-time listener.
What's
glad
happening?
to get to talk to you again.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yes.
So you were totally on point with your assessment of the games. The Saints did just about almost everything in their power to give that game back to Foles and the Eagles, who, on that note, Foles was so calm and collected in that game and didn't shake and didn't give up on his team. What I wanted to call was, I'm a Giants fan, and I was curious.
You want Foles?
Do you think well, I wanted to think, yeah, I would love Foles.
Well, I mean, listen, Foles is there if you want him. I mean, he's 29 years old. He's going to get his own team. If somebody's going to offer Foles, Rob, is going to offer Foles a lot of money. I don't think there's any question. He's done enough now. He had the great year under Kelly. He's gonna, without question, get a big offer. Okay, I mean, I think that goes without saying. So from that standpoint, I think that, somebody's going to make a big deal for him. Bill in Yorktown, what's up, Bill?
Yeah. How you doing, Mike?
Good.
First of all, rest in peace, Stoudemire.
Yeah, I agree. Great man. Wonderful man, too. Wonderful man.
Yeah, and, as a Mets fan, I remember him with the Yanks and then with the Mets. And
yeah.
It's a sad day in baseball. But, Mike, the reason I called is because, the other caller said the same thing. You are well known to be a lover of Luck. And for my money, he spit the bit yesterday. He looked terrible. And I didn't so much see people dropping balls as much as I saw him throwing it in the ground.
You didn't see anybody drop balls in that game either?
Mike, he had open guys.
Wait a second. He had open receivers?
He threw the ball into the ground, Mike.
So wait a second.
He looked terrible.
You think this guy do you think he's a good player or a mediocre player?
Mike, my point is this. You love
Do you think he's a good Bill, listen. I'm not even going to insult everybody's intelligence. If your argument is that Luck is no longer a good quarterback, you guys are morons. Okay? That's not even worth wasting the airtime on. Quarterbacks have bad days. This is a guy who you're going to call a choker who engineered in that stadium the greatest comeback in the history of the league. In that ballpark. Okay? In that building. Against that team. In the past. So you're now going to tell me he can't play? I mean, come on, guys. Listen, I'm going to think that you have more intelligence than that. Okay? I really are going to think you have more intelligence than that because I'm not even, that's not even worth discussing. Zach Britton joins us now, who has re-signed with the Yankees. It's a crazy day, obviously, today.